Good day. Good day, you beautiful brave hearts. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolf. I'm here today with the infinite, phenomenal Jim Gale from Food Forest Abundance. And we're going to be talking today about the whole holiday spirit, or I should say he will be talking today about that. I'm in Ixtapa, Mexico, and I'm here because this is where I live. This is my primary residence, and I also live in the United States. But you know what? I love it, Mexico, the freedom, the food, everybody, Food Forest Abundance is going to become more important as we get back to the things that really matter in our life. What do you think, Jim?
Dr. Wolf, I think you're absolutely right. When we simply recognize how to be healthy and happy and free and self-reliant, when we learn that simple thing, then we can have landscapes like this. Can you see that landscape very well, Dr. Wolf?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, this is so simple, my friends. When we take the poisons out of our lives and we grow food, and it's also medicine. In fact, we talked a little bit about this earlier, Dr. Wolf. All these different things, everything here is a medicine, not only a food, right? Hippocrates said, let thy food be thy medicine. This one right here is turmeric. So, what does turmeric do when fighting things like cancer, Dr. Wolf?
What does it do? It reduces the inflammation in the body faster than almost any other known herb. Turmeric is phenomenal for the body because it actually has something in it called curcuminoids.
Yeah, it's amazing. And there's multiple studies showing that it's more effective than the toxins that they use when you go to the normal doctor. So I want to make this so easy for people. I want people to really understand how simple this life is. All right, this here is called longevity spinach. Right, this has multiple medicinal benefits, and it tastes amazing. So this is a living salad bar. So how many square feet does this take up? Let me see. 1, 2, and then 1, 2. This is about really 2.5 by 2.5 feet, maybe 10 by 6. If anybody out there listening has a space in their yard or even on their balcony that's 7 feet long by 6 feet wide, they could have a living salad bar. And how much effort is this living salad bar to maintain? We put it in the ground about 18, 19 months ago, and we've done nothing since then.
Nothing.
And not only, nothing. It's just free food. It's so simple. And not only that, but if you take one of these sprigs off like this, and then you stick that in the ground somewhere after eating all the leaves, then you stick that in the ground or you give it away, and now your friend has their own longevity spinach salad bar. Right? That's how the earth is meant to be. Right? What about papaya for healing the gut? Aren't they good?
Yeah, the enzyme goes down there, and it also helps to move along the mucoid that is created from the infection of stagnation that goes to inflammation, and then you create way too much mucus in your intestine, and that's why it becomes a sticky, glicky mess, and you're left on the toilet grunting and groaning trying to squeeze that sucker out. Jim?
Yeah. So, literally, medicine, value, life grows on trees. And again, we purchased this papaya tree for maybe, 30 or 40 bucks, and it was about 2.5 feet tall. Now, 18 months later, it's providing us all of this food. And not only is it food for us, but every one of these papayas has hundreds of seeds. Every one of those seeds can be a new papaya tree. Right? And this goes for every zone. If you're in Minnesota or Michigan or Alaska or Russia or Arizona, every zone has plants that you can plant that will feed you and your kids and your great-great-great-grandkids. Just gotta be aware that food in the mind and in the ground is how we overcome this incredible situation that humanity is facing right now.
Yeah, how does it feel, everyone, to have totally given your health away? And we have. Understand something. Even those people who say they eat right and they look after themselves, every time they have some kind of a little emergency in their family, the first thing they do is they think about going to emergency care. I mean, we have been programmed, and we are not making good choices. How does it feel to rely on the government to make all your health and food decisions when they work for an entity inside the government, and the government is not broken, the medical system's not broken, and we will remain broken until we decide to become, the hero of the story? Jim, what do you think?
Exactly. And how do we become the hero? By loving ourselves and by loving and stewarding our land, which then the energy goes exponential. Our family benefits, our friends benefit, and all of nature benefits. It's like this is a moringa tree. Those are the drumsticks. It's called the drumstick tree as well, or the miracle tree. There's more vitamin C than an orange, more potassium than a banana, more calcium than milk, more protein than eggs by weight in the leaves of this tree.
Okay.
And how much? Yeah, go ahead.
If I can say something, this is the craziest thing. The moringa tree is the strongest tree. You'll never see it have any parasitic infestation. No parasites can eat at it. It can grow in a desert. It can grow in a sandbox. And here's the big deal. In Africa, you'll find tons of moringa trees everywhere, and you'll find underneath the moringa trees, the people getting shade are actually starving to death because no one even teaches them that their moringa tree, the leaves, carry such abundance of nutrition. We've all been ruled, schooled, and fooled, Jim.
Yeah, that's for sure. But now, thanks to you, thanks to myself, and everybody in our network, including all the people listening, we're helping to bring awareness to this beautiful and logical way of living. Right? In fact, there were several communities in Africa where all the children and most of the adults were massively malnourished. All they did was take the leaves of this tree and put it in every meal, and within 30 days, they were nourished. It was that simple.
Remember, everyone, okay, freedom is only about 6 inches, and it's right here. The freedom, you have to make different thoughts, you have to run different programs, and you actually have to take responsibility, okay, for breathing, eating, living, loving. Jim?
And there's no reason not to. Like, that's the fun part. This is not hard. It's infinitely harder to not do this, right? This is infinitely more convenient when I can just walk around and get a meal anytime I want. Talk about convenience. You know, people think these fast food places are convenient. Well, they'll just cost you 20 or 30 years of your life. I don't think that's convenient at all. What about you, Dr. Wolf?
Well, I'll tell you right now, and I don't know, the only way that you can disagree with me is if people decide to honor, love, and respect themselves. But I believe that 30% of the population is going to leave just because they only honor the 4 inches of their digestive tract, and all they ask is, will this fit in my mouth? And the reality is this: we can go around blaming the government, the medical system, but the reality is people are eating themselves to death, and that's the God's truth. We are becoming extinct, and we wouldn't become that way if we looked at everything as a vibrational frequency, and if we asked ourselves before we put something in our mouth, what is the frequency and the vibration and the amount of light in this food? And when you eat darkness, you become darkness. When you eat low vibrational, man-made fake foods, then you are going to live a fake life, which means you have no immune system, and you are going to become an emergency. And yes, you'll be rushed to the hospital. Yes, you'll get your attention. Yes, everybody will pretend they love you because you've never been taught that you need to love and care for yourself. Jim?
Oh my gosh, that brings up a really, really kind of intense story I'll share real quick. So a friend of the family, his name is Manuel, was diagnosed with glioblastoma. My mom was diagnosed with glioblastoma. Both of these people at about the same time. I don't know.
Which is brain,
well.
can I just say this? Which is a brain tumor, everyone. And with a brain tumor, there's a danger. Because with a brain tumor, you can have, like when you go to heal, sometimes tumors will swell, just like a star will get bigger before it dies. And the problem in the skull is if it gets bigger before it dies, it can cause big problems and even death. So that's why brain tumors can be a little dangerous. Go ahead, Jim.
Oh, for sure. Well, so what happened is both of them, my mom and this fellow Manuel, both went and had the tumor removed from their brains. He decided to take the advice of the medical system and start eating toxic pills every day. He's now on his last week or two of life. My mom decided to follow, and by the way, thank you for coming over and having dinner with us and sharing with us your wisdom. She decided to follow your protocol, and she's feeling awesome. It's kind of shocking because she's actually transitioning and evolving on so many other levels. Not only does she seem to be very healthy, but mentally there's things happening that she's more aware of herself now maybe than she's ever been in her life. So I just want to and here's the part, this is what triggered it. When I was at the doctor used shame and humiliation against me and my mother for questioning their authority. The same thing happened to this other guy, and his family bowed down and said, oh doctor, thank you for all your wisdom. And now he's dead, or going to be dead here in a week. And he knows it. He said to his wife, who told my wife, he said he knows it's the pills that are killing him. So anyway, I just want to share that message. Thank you for everything you've done for my mom and my family, Dr. Wolf.
And if I can say this, everyone, 1 minute before midnight, Christmas Eve, I'm giving away, which I just finished yesterday, my brand new The Ultimate Healing Guide called The Perfect Day. It's a 535-page graphic masterpiece. You'll get it in your email box. We won't use your email for harassing you, but anybody that wants this free, go to pdgfree.com and you will have it 1 minute before midnight on Christmas Eve. That's P is in perfect, D is in day, G is in guide, free.com. And everybody, if you want to know the protocol that Jim's mother's on, it's called the Stealth Glucose Protocol. And I hope you get ready to blow your mind. And I'm only going to say this one time, but people that are having stage 3 and 4, we're looking at success rates of in the 90s, high 80s and 90s. Understand something. Everything is vibration. Everything is frequency. Okay? And I know that. I've known that my whole life. And the reality is you better jump on board because you came in as a spirit being. You're going to leave as a spirit being. And every one of these foods that Jim is growing have high vibrational frequency. And I hope you know what that is, guys. You may not like this, but it's called the spirit. And do you know why why the food is there? It is actually given up its life for you, but it doesn't, because when you eat the food, this fresh food, this wholesome food, you are taking, because that fruit says, I want to come up a level. I am going to let this person eat up my spirit, and I'm going to become part of them and become a higher vibrational being. And if you think that's BS, then guess what? I don't know what we're going to do. We got to get you out of kindergarten thinking and raise your vibration and know that that which created the universe has unconditional love for you. And this is one big PlayStation game, and if you don't want to bring up your frequency and move on to the next game, then you just keep on going through drive-thrus and you'll get driven over. Jim?
100%, buddy. And, you know, Tesla, for the Tesla fans in the audience, Tesla said this very clearly, and I think he missed a word. He said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. But the word think is a little bit misplaced, because if you want to find the secrets of yourself, of life, of health and vibration and frequency, then feel it, right? So that's why I practice a lot of deep breathing and meditation and silencing my mind, right? Not by efforting or struggling or grinding, but simply by breathing and looking around and going, oh my God, life is beautiful, right? And friends, if you're in a situation, and I know a lot of people are struggling right now, there's a lot of people that are waking up to their own feelings like they've never done before. Absolutely. And then that causes disease and stress. Breathe through that. Go into it. You know, in fact, I want to share a real quick story. Dr. Wolf, did you have something to say? Because I got a fun story.
No, I'm loving the stories. Keep them coming.
So, yeah, here's what happened to me about a year ago. It was a Friday night, and I was feeling really crappy all day Friday. And it was a 3-day sickness, but it seemed to be more than a sickness. It seemed to be like some type of massive upgrade or download or some type of transition in my body. And I was, by the way, I started to take the humic folate that you have and some different products, and in living better. So there's some transition going on. And the first day was really, I was hot. I had like 107 temperature. Now, of course, the doctors tell us to decrease the temperature, but I think my body knew what to do, right? So I had this high temp, and then the following day, I was in bed all day, and then I didn't sleep much for 2 nights, and then the third night, something absolutely changed my life. I was in so much pain. It was like my kidneys and all of my internal organs were just grinding and twisting. And I was practicing meditation through the pain and into the pain. And it was a tough night. I'm not gonna play games with this. It was a really hard night. I didn't sleep at all. I couldn't even sit still. And all of a sudden, I found a place in my mind in meditation where I was deep breathing, and I was going deep as I could into the pain. Right? That's what people want to do nowadays, is they want to avoid the pain by taking some type of drug or poison. That kills. The pain is a message from the messenger somehow. So I went super deep into the pain, and I literally witnessed the pain as a frequency, and I witnessed it vanish just like that. It was gone. And all of a sudden, I was a little tired, but my experience was over, and I never felt better since then.
Yeah, well, you know what? And I'm going to say this, and you ever notice something, Jim? The people that run away from pain all their life are always in pain. The people that use food to suppress it, use drugs to suppress it, alcohol, the people that use toking. I mean, now that we can all just toke our brains out, we can walk around like the walking zombies. And that's the problem, everybody. I hope you know this, and you're not going to believe me. You're going to say it's not true, but 92% of the population has what we call a functional illness. When I was 6 years old, I can remember this. And when we heard that somebody had diabetes, we knew that they had a life-threatening illness. Now we know that 86% of Americans are pre-diabetic, that 50% of teenagers and 30% of young children are pre-diabetic. We also know that 60% of the population will also have heart disease. Okay? We also know that 50% of the population will come down with some form of cancer. So guess what? We don't have 1 or 2 or 3 autoimmune diseases. We have 3 or 4. People have 3 or 4, and it's just like you sneezed. How comfortable is it to become comfortable with life-threatening diseases? What are we, morons? We are. We have moronic thoughts, and we can be programmed. You know, I'm going to tell you something, and maybe I'm a little off track. I had a mother come to me and go, I don't know what it is we did with our daughter, what's wrong with our daughter, because I do about maybe 2 to 3 consultations on young children and teenagers. That's what I really focus on. And parents and families will always come to me and for my help. And the reality is this mother goes, we did everything right. Okay, we are a really good moral family. I don't know what went wrong with my daughter, and this was yesterday on a consult. And I said, I'll tell you what went wrong. You gave her to the government. The government was with your daughter more than you were every day of her life. So, you didn't raise your daughter. She slept in your house. You made food for her, but think about how much time you spent with her and then how much time the government spent with her, and understand something. The whole thing is not broken, okay? It's not broken. It's a system that is called the harvest. And here's the deal. You get about 150 psychos into a room, and we all know what those meetings are called, and they all come together, and they're all psychos. They got way too much power, and they look at us as ants, allowing negative thoughts. That's what we do. And they go, well, if you're going to be such a dumbass, okay, we are way higher vibrational than you. These people that come together, they don't even like each other, but they know if they strategize, okay, that they can hog tie the whole planet like they did for 3 years. And they're going to try to do it again in 3 to 4 months from now, when everybody has poisoned themselves through Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, and then the boozer holiday, which is New Year's. And then everybody's going to have a fever, and then they're going to take drugs to suppress the fever when the body's trying to burn off the infection, when all you needed to do was to do a warm water tummy love enema, and in 15 minutes the fever would have been gone down. And if you feel like you need to throw up, that's because you swallow so much bullshit all your life. Then you need to do therapeutic vomiting. And I'm telling you guys the truth, okay? You know what? Use your orifices to bring you back, okay, to harmony. Jim?
Yeah. 100%. And just take the number one thing to take out of our lives is the fear and scarcity, the programming that we turn off. If anybody's listening to the mainstream media or even a lot of the alternative media, if you notice yourself feeling low energy or fear or frustration or anger or rage or shame or humiliation or depression, turn that shit off. Like, that's the number one thing. And here's the next level. When we take our same energy and we now serve somebody, when we now go out and do something nice for somebody else that makes us feel good, then we recognize that the ultimate selfishness is service. The more we serve, the more we feel good. So there's no reason not to do things for others. It doesn't have to cost any money. It could be a hug. It could be a compliment. And when we get in the habit of doing these things, the world opens up and everything magical starts to happen. Like it's been happening to us now. I mean, we're living completely off-grid in paradise, and we're showing everybody how to do this. So anybody who wants to come visit, that's what we do. We invite people here to see and feel and experience what freedom is all about. And yeah, it's just been such a beautiful experience.
Jim, you've got places for them to stay, everyone. You can come and you can stay for a day and overnight, or you can stay for a week, you can stay for a month. If you wanted to come and learn about permaculture, electroculture, there's so much that you could be taught there. I mean, Jim, why don't you go through some of the things, please?
So yes, our primary thing is we help people grow food all over the world. And we turn backyards into regenerative edible landscapes. We work with HOAs. We work with prisons and schools. In fact, I've got 2 presidential candidates and a congressman. They are Bobby Kennedy, Dr. Shiva, and Congressman Soto have all committed to come here. And why? Because the word is getting out, right? The idea whose time has come is starting to spread exponentially. And in 2024, we're going to change the world because it's time we change the world. And how do we do that? By simply taking the poisons out and growing food instead of lawns and loving ourselves.
That's right. And guess what? We become the gift that we want to see, and then we gift everybody with it. So everybody, you think about this during this Christmas holiday here. You think about, what's my passion? What's my purpose? And what can I gift the world with? And I promise you that you will be blessed forever. You won't have to come from poverty thinking on any level, whether it's money or love or anything else. Okay? You are your thoughts. And when you got stinking thinking, it'll start here, but it'll rot this out. Okay? Jim, what can they do? What can they do to get started with you? Like, where do they go for your information? What can you do to help them? Okay, because here's the biggest deal. Human beings have been programmed that everything new, even if it's going to save their life, right away they're fearful of. You know, if you go 3, 2, 1, I got this, and if it makes you feel a little, if it scares you but it excites you, you need to write it down and go, I'm going for this, because your subconscious will always try to stop the amazing. Okay, because you are programmed for it. Yet your mom and dad sent you to the government. So understand that. So let's get that right away. I'm not picking on any parents, but you shouldn't have given your kids to the government, okay? Remember when they used to think that homeschoolers were weird? Yeah, really? Are you like out of your mind? Yes, of course they were weird because you were taught that by the government. Jim, what can people do?
So come visit me. Is number one, there's 2 websites that I'll share with you. galtslanding.farm. That's GALTS landing.farm. And that's where I live, completely off-grid, completely non-compliant with any form of force and violence, and we're demonstrating freedom and having a lot of fun. We have a private 400-acre lake, so we got the only dock on this lake. It's at the end of the road. It's paradise.
Want to go fishing? Want to go fishing? There's big fish in there.
Really good fishing. And then the other website, if you want to turn your backyard or your space or your any lawn or any land you have into productive land, in other words, if you want to grow food during a food supply chain collapse, which is a pretty good idea, then go to our website, foodforestabundance.com. foodforestabundance.com. And we even have a free strategy session. So if you want to talk to one of our professional designers, then we're happy to do that. 30 minutes of free chat, or you can simply purchase a landscape blueprint and you can start on the path to complete wellness.
And understand, everybody, Jim is not here for you to follow him. I am not here for you to follow us. You come to us to become a leader so that you can teach other people. The whole treatment thing's got to stop. The training thing has to start. It's all about training. You will never ever master anything unless you learn how to do it yourself. And understand something. They tried to make you believe that you can't become your own practitioner. You can't become your own lover. You can't become your own caretaker. You can't become your own mastermind. Well, none of this is true. So we want to create leaders. There are no followers, okay? Follow us until you can do it better than us. And then go out and say, hey, I'm going to take all Dr. Wolf's stuff. I'm going to take his perfect day guide that he gave me for free, okay? And I'm going to take all his information, and I'm going to make it my own. You can take everything I've ever written, every video I've ever done, and you can make it your own. Let me tell you something. When they tell you that you can't touch things because they're copyrighted, they do that because it slows us all up. You know, if we were to take all of our jewels and gems and our hidden secrets because we're paranoid schizophrenic that there's not enough, and we were to give that to each other, guess what? We would be a Braveheart nation, and we would not, the government would have to shut down, okay? They'd have to shut down and shut up, all right? Yeah. Jim?
Exactly right. I want to bring my mom in real quick. My mom, who you know, is on Dr. Wolf's protocol. She had a tumor removed from her brain, and so she's been on the protocol. How you feeling, Mama?
Okay.
Yeah, you feeling better?
My ear is not growing too much.
Yeah, it's coming back. Yeah, awesome, Mama. She's out in the food forest. So yeah, thanks for all you do, buddy.
But your mother's been through a lot. Everybody, she's had the surgery twice. They had to remove it.
Yep.
So, you know, there's a brave woman. And guess what? People don't know better. So we're not going to call anybody any names, but people don't know better until they know better. And we need a lot of people out there helping people to know better, to love better, to care better. That's all. That's all. Let's see if we can get through this whole holiday season. And when we come out of this holiday season, no judgment anymore. We observe and we learn. We don't burn. We don't burn ourselves. We don't burn others. And we never use the word hate again, because we're only focused on what we want in our life. And once you focus on what you only want in your life, which they call selfishness, which I say, if you're not selfish enough to know what a perfect day is from the moment you rise until you close your eyes, okay, then you're French fries. What do you think, Jim?
Shakespeare said, to thine own self be true, and then it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst be false to anyone. That's a powerful concept. I suggest everybody fully understand that. It's so real. So thank you, and Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's start loving and serving. Give 5 extra compliments today, and it will brighten your day up as much as anybody's.
Absolutely. Now, Jim, just let everybody know where they need to go and how to get in touch with you, okay?
All right. So you can get in touch with me either at galslanding.farm or foodforestabundance.com. We're also all over social media. We've got a TV show and a documentary, and we're going to change the world. It's time, and we have the plan and strategy and tactics to do so. Together we win.
Thank you, my friend. And we'll be coming on with Jim, and we'll be talking he's got a really big team, and we'll be talking about what each team member is doing to try to create this world movement of, food forest abundance.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Ciao, everybody.
Bye now, Jim. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Like I said, I'm here in Ixtapa, Mexico, and I'm going to be giving a course on January the 8th. It's called the Whole Life Coach Certification. And let me just say this right now. If you ever really want to change your life, and you don't have to wait until you're down on your knees begging God, please, or I feel like I'm going to jump off a cliff. But the reality is what are you worth? I want you to really take a look and ask yourself, if you were to put a value on yourself, what are you truly worth? And you know that heart of yours, that heart of yours? How much of it do you fill personally? I fill my heart up completely with love. I don't make my partner, Lori, my children, or the rest of the world to be responsible for that. And that's what happens. We believe that if we burn ourselves out, if we work hard enough, if we suffer long enough, that we will get the love we will deserve. Well, that's BS, a dysfunctional belief system, and that one stinks to the high heavens. And the reality is there's nothing wrong with you letting yourself off the hook for everything that you've ever been guilted for, because if you don't do that, that is the dis-ease. You have to understand that. And like Jim was saying, every symptom that you get in your body is a message of love. You know, when you're in a relationship, and you are being disrespectful, and you don't know it, you're unconscious of the fact. Your partner, your children, your family will let you know. And what's wrong with that? You know, we are unconscious of the subconscious programs that we're actually running because we don't really know how to stay in the present moment and own it and observe ourselves. And the subconscious tries to block that. We've all been programmed to do this. So understand something. For you to unconditionally love yourself right now, and forgive yourself for everything you've ever done or everything you're ever going to do, what do you think that's going to make you into a killer, or you're going to steal from people? No, we are good. We are spirit beings. And when we are giving rules by these fools that, you know, if you don't do this, then you're this. If you don't do that, then you're that. Well, I call BS. You know what? This is a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure. And when I came here and I was in my mother's womb, both of my parents were adulterated. I could tell you about what my parents were like. They did the best that they could, but I need to do better than them. And my children need to do better than me. And then my children will never do better than me unless I teach them unconditional love. And that, because what would you like? Would you like your children to have conditional love for themselves, to keep on punishing themselves like you do, judging themselves like you do? Really? No, if I say to a mother or father, you know, Would you like your child to have conditional love for themselves or unconditional? They're going to go unconditional. Then why can't you do it for yourself? And then right away, the subconscious goes into you're selfish. Or, you know, the way I was raised is that if I had unconditional love for myself and I didn't punish myself a certain degree for every different things for my family's rule book, I was going to hell. So I never knew if I was in hell, out of hell, but I was always in hell. So then I became a hellraiser all my life because I realized this, that it's all BS. I don't care if your story dates back hundreds of thousands of years. I'm not dealing with his story. I'm making my own story. It's called unconditional love, and that which created the whole universe has always loved me, always will, and it's beyond love, believe it or not, because love is such a contaminated word down here. So I want everybody to understand, you can believe in whatever you believe in. I'm not trying to change your beliefs, and I never would. Even when people come to my course, the only thing I'm supposed to do is do one thing. When they leave, they're supposed to become the best emotional, nutritional practitioners, or to know the most about nutrition and emotions and about how to heal their own body and their family's body. You know, 50% of the people that come to my whole life coach, they have no inclination to become practitioners. And guess what? 50% of the people that come to my course actually become natural health practitioners. Because if the whole world became natural health practitioners, the medical system would shut down, except for 1% of their therapy would just be emergency care when somebody decides to throw themselves down the stairs or when somebody gets into an accident or something like that. Because the medical system should have nothing else to do with us except for emergency care, and that's why we're all running around like an emergency. I'll be coming on here maybe today or tomorrow morning, and I'm going to be doing a one-a-day called You Give Me Fever. And okay, I'm going to show you why most of you are going to end up with a fever, why you're going to end up in bed. It's not because you're sick. It's because your body puts you to bed to try to get you well because you just went and poisoned yourself. That's right. Let's see how many shortbread cookies you eat. Let's see how much you overeat and feel bloated. Let's see how nervous you are at the table because there's people there that you've never liked. And there's people there that you may never like because your beliefs don't match theirs. Let me tell you something. You know what? I'm going to tell you, I know I got to love everyone as much as possible, but I don't have to like everybody's beliefs. I remember my mother used to say, you know what, your aunt, you got to learn to live with her. You got to learn to get along with her. Well, sometimes there's nothing you can do to get along with people. And understand something. I'm going to go where the vibration is the best because guess what? Vibrational frequency is your most important asset. So think about what you drink during Christmas, what you eat, and the way you treat yourself and others. And if there's a certain situation coming on that makes you feel uncomfortable, go to the bathroom and sit there and connect to the lion heart breathing or do the mirror work and say, I love, honor, and respect myself. 3, 2, 1, I got this. You don't need to participate in any of the toxic family. Okay, all right? So by the time that the family gets to the second drink, you need to think about an exit. By the third drink, you better be having the third drink with them because that's when everybody thinks they're a genius. And by the fourth drink, that's when everything's going to become just totally nutso cuckoo because that's why when you go to the bar, it says pick your spirit. And if you don't know this, how many people say, oh, I wasn't myself last night? Well, of course you weren't, because when you have more than 3 alcohol drinks or 3 beers, entities jump into your body. Believe it or not, doesn't really matter. And they jump in and they're invisible and they're physical. And the physical ones are called parasites. And understand something. 99 out of 100 people have parasites. Everyone that has any type of autoimmune disease or any type of chronic condition has parasites in their body. And the parasites come there because of the low vibration in that part of the body. And guess what? They feed on you, they breed in you, they poop in you, they throw up in you. And guess what? Those of you people that think, oh my God, I love my ice cream, I love my sugar, I love my alcohol, I love eating bread all the time. Just know this, that's those little parasite critters going, Mommy, feed me, feed me. That's why you end up watching, you have a program and a routine that you opt for these addictive things and you go, what do you think triggered you? It's your little critters inside of you, the fungus, the parasites, and the bad bacteria, okay, that are telling you we need more, we need more. guess what? Hey, honey, I'm feeling kind of snacky. You know, I feel like I'd like to make a drink. Would you like a drink? No, I don't. Oh, come on, have a drink with me. Okay? All right, so just know that. And there's, how many drinks are good for you? 0. So the reality is, if you can't help yourself, if you've got a structure unit, make sure you make sure that you run the beer, the alcohol, the wine through the structure unit. People will not have as bad of hangovers or no hangover if you structure the alcohol. And if you want to save yourself, every time that you make an alcohol drink, drink 12 to 14 ounces of structured water. Do water in between to try to dilute it down and try not to just blow yourself up, okay? And drink as much water as you can, and you'll find you'll drink less alcohol and you'll eat less. And everybody's going to be eating more because everybody's eating crap during Christmas. And when you eat crap, it steals your energy, and then all you have is crap around you, so you'll eat more crap. And then guess what? Don't worry though. By the 10th of January to the 1st of February, we'll have a new COVID season. I can't wait. I can't wait. And then the majority of the population is going to buy into the BS. So you know what, Daryl? Mind your own business. It's a 3-ring circus, and here we go again. Okay? And the reality is guess what? I'll never stop squawking and talking and try to see if we can just stir people up. You know, people go, why is he so intense? I'm not intense, guys. Okay? I'm going to tell you, if I go, well, try not to drink, okay? My father used to drink whiskey and suffered from PTSD. There's no such thing as PTSD, but that's what they call it. And guess what? It's actually shell shock. But he never drank without a glass of water to go along with it. Yeah, and understand something. People who suffer from PTSD, it's actually shell shock. And you don't have to go to war to get shell shock, because you take yourself there anyways. Because let me just say this, please, with all the love in your heart, I want you to think about the people that are the sickest emotionally, mentally, and physically in your life. They can't help it. And they're not dumb, they're programmed. They can't help but tell their dramatic, traumatic story. Did you know that when I was born, I almost died? Did you know that da-da-da-da-da? You don't understand the hell I went through. I got beat by every guy I was with, okay? Da-da-da-da-dee, da-da-da-da-da. You know what? I'm going to tell you something, okay? Universal intelligence, which people call God, source, it's universal intelligence. It's an energy. It doesn't have a personality disorder, okay? Universal intelligence does one thing. Whatever you think, whatever you speak, okay, gets put out to the universe. Now I want you to take a look at your surroundings. I want to take a look at the people in your life. I want you to take a look at your wealth and your health. And I'm going to tell you something. You created it in between here with that, either the stinking thinking or the abundance thinking, okay? And what you said with your mouth, okay? Did you see him? Did you see her? Oh my God, who does he think he is? Who does he think she is? We've all been taught that if somebody's beliefs do not match ours, we will push them off the cliff. We will hate them, okay? All right, we will talk bad about them. Let me tell you something right now. Mind your own business, and mind your own business, and learn how to fill up your own heart with unconditional love from yourself. And see if you can just get through this whole holiday season without judging any of the relatives or any of the close family or the rest of the world. Let's see if you can just keep your mouth quiet about anything that's on the news and anybody who comes here, because what are families going to talk about? Well, they're going to talk about the economy, they're going to talk about all the wars, they're going to talk about Aunt Martha, who's got stage 3 cancer and she's going for chemo and she lost her hair, she lost her teeth, she lost her mind. That's what we're going to do. Why don't we just shut the heck up? Why can't we just talk about everything that's beautiful in our life? Because then you would only get more of that. You know, you think I'm wrong? Let me tell you something. Okay, I've got four of my kids coming home. 2 aren't, but 4 are coming. Okay? And there's going to be, I got 6. What am I talking about? I can't even count right. There'll be 6 of us here, plus me and Lori. There will not be one negative conversation. We will be talking, if we talk about the economic platform that's going on, we're going to talk about it with clear heads and say this is where we're going and this is why we need to strategize like this. Okay? That's what you do. Okay? There is no fear in my family. There is no fear at the table. Okay? And if somebody doesn't have something nice to say about someone, or if they're in a bad mood, they need to go swimming or they need to go for a walk, as long as it takes to get themselves back and centered emotionally. That is the deal. There is no emotional chaos in my life, okay, except for the majority of the population doesn't buy into my BS. That's for sure. I'm too strong for people. Why is he so angry? Well, guess what? I'm not angry. I'm taking a bloody stand. I want to go out there and help everybody crack their coconuts from the inside out so they can drink the juice of unconditional love, which the source of everything, all that is. That which you call God doesn't judge anyone. How in the heck can you say that somebody's a sinner down here? For God's sakes, to even come onto this planet when your parents are adulterated and they send you to a government program all your life, okay? And then most people are in this religion stuff that's so fearful that we all think we're going to hell and we're not sure what we need to do to pass the pearly gates. I mean, who makes this stuff up? Seriously, do you know how big the universe is? Why don't you get universal? Well, okay, why don't you try to get universal? And you know what? The thing is I could talk a lot differently and make a lot more money and have people buy a lot more products and have people take a lot more of my courses if I wanted to water things down. But see, in my course, I have a money back guarantee by the third day, okay? We will have found your light, your authentic self. That doesn't mean that my way, my beliefs. No, it's that God-given, created spirit of yours that was suffocated in the womb and all the way to the tomb if you don't let go of all of the sinner syndrome, the guilt complexes, and you're going to leave my whole life coach course. You're going to leave there going, I don't need their approval and I'm not taking anything personal that they say about me, and I will love them anyway. And that's it. Okay? All right? Okay? So that's the way it has to be. And then anybody that has any type of religion, they can keep that. They can keep, and there's parts of everything that are so beautiful and wonderful. But if everything is so beautiful and wonderful, why don't we feel beautiful and wonderful? Why aren't we healthy? You know what? Let me tell you, we've never been any sicker on this planet. So that means our belief systems suck. So don't tell me about how your faith, don't tell me about how your faith and your religion, if your faith in religion has a chokehold on you, invisible bonds that bind you on an emotional, physical, or spirit level, then guess what? It's garbage. I don't know how people actually walk around all day thinking that there's some old guy, because it's not an old woman, it's an old guy. It's an old guy, okay, because he's very old, okay, all right? And there's some old guy up there that is watching us at every turn and deciding whether we're bad or good, for goodness sake. Who makes this crap up? Seriously? Let me tell you something. I can tell you right now, and people are going, oh, he's going to go to hell. Well, guess what? My whole life is bliss. Even when things don't go my way and things blow up in my face. Listen, in the last 2 years, I've been attacked by my own government, by TV stations, by people that haters that just come together and now they have this bonding thing, and then let's go after Dr. Wolf. You know what? Seriously? Okay, just try loving yourself for one day from the moment you rise until you close your eyes, and try not to have a bad feeling about anybody. Anybody. Okay? And not talk down about anyone or judge anyone. I bet you can't do it. Took me years, okay, to stop having certain religions I didn't like, or certain nationalities I didn't like, or I love you all. I love you all. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, what you're doing. We all came from the same creator, and then we all got different parents, went to different schools, and we all got bought into different religions. okay? And it's all to separate us. And whether you believe it or not, the color of our skin, the different languages, okay, all right? The different belief systems and the different religions are all part of the game so that we can go after each other, so that we can attack each other. It's always been the same thing forever. You know, if you were to ask the population in any country, okay, whether it's Iran or Iraq or in Ukraine, why don't you go to the streets and ask people, please, just leave us alone. Let our family just live and love and be here. You know, it's got, what you see and what you hear from these so-called leaders, they're not leaders, they're morons. The higher up you go in government, okay, all right, and the more power you have, the more you have to give yourself over to the devil itself. And that's the truth. So just know that. You know, there is no authority over me, no authority over me on this planet, okay? All right, I'm going to tell you something. I humble myself down to that which created the universe. And I know that it is unconditional love. And when I say I humble myself down, I don't humble myself down because I'm a sinner or a loser or I'm full of guilt. I humble myself down because do you know what kind of energetic power that is? And it actually took some time out to create some kind of a spirit that's right now called Daryl. But I don't know what that is. I do believe it's eternal. And guess what? And I also know I'm not going to hell for anything I've ever done, okay? And I'm not going to heaven for anything I've ever done because it's right now. It's right now. Right now. If you don't own the present moment, you don't own your life. If you are worried about your future, you don't own your life. If you are guilty about your past stuff, then you don't own your life. Should you apologize to people if you hurt them? I'll even apologize to people even if I didn't hurt them. Okay, it's just maybe my personality is a little too robust and they're damaged. I'm gonna apologize to them, even if I know I did nothing wrong, because in life, everybody's got a different personality because everybody's got different belief systems. Everybody has a different perception. So in life, somebody's name is not as important as what I feel coming off of them. If we were to lock into people's vibrations and the frequency coming off of them, then we know how to navigate that surfboard. And really, that's the deal, everyone. Don't treat everybody the same. When you come to someone, process through your heart, not your mind, and just go, you know, look at the belief system this person has, and then love them anyway. Love them anyway, because that's the only thing that sets you free. So please don't come on here and think that you can tell me that that person that's up in the sky, okay, that created everything, okay, all right, loves me 1 minute and hates me the next. Please, that story is really overdone. And the reality is this, you know, you need to get this, okay? You need to get this. I just love this part. You know, all these psycho tyrants, they'll get theirs. No, they won't. Wait till God gets his hands on them. I don't know about that either. Why don't you just mind your own business and take all that energy and put it into creating a food forest abundance, or go find your passion, your purpose, your gifts, and start gifting the world. You know, if you got up in the morning and you gifted the world from the moment you rise until you close your eyes, how would you sleep that night? So understand something. Your belief system are creating everything for you. You know, I can't pull you out of hell, because you'd actually have to calm down, connect to your breath, observe, and then look at the belief systems that have a chokehold on you, that are binding you, that are making you feel less. You know, the difference between 99.9% of the population and just 1% of 1% is that they don't need approval from anyone. They don't take things personal. And they know that, guess what? You're not going to get things right. You're going to mess up until you perfect something, which means you got to repeat it so often. You know, I just love this part. You know, if you don't smarten up, I'm going to leave you. Really? I mean, who says that to people? If you just know that people have personalities created from their belief systems that aren't their belief systems. You know, whether you believe it or not, your personality is not God-given. Oh, there's a wake up. Your personality is not something that you even created. Your personality is created by the prominent, dominant people that were in your life from 0 to 7, end of story. And guess what? 70 to 90% of the beliefs you still run today, okay, all right, are from there. And whether you want to believe it or not, 70% of those beliefs are toxic. Toxic. They're toxic. Okay? And I would say that I probably have about 5 to 10% toxic beliefs in me, and that's it. So the reality is I'm not going to fit in. I'm going to be the minority. The reality is when people come on here and they go, you got a cult going, or we know what you're really up to. You know, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what anybody says, because they have their belief systems. And if you don't match other people's belief systems, they're going to come after you. And if you don't match or the herd, the majority, then guess what? You will be attacked. Let me tell you something. Almost in between $200,000 and $250,000 of taxpayers' money went to go to create a show to try to destroy me. I get it, because I was ready to break through. That was just a year and a half ago. And now I'm going to release my Perfect Day Guide. Oh man, yeah, I'm bringing down the thunder. You get this guide and read it and tell me I didn't bring down the thunder, that I didn't give you back your power on an emotional, physical, and mental level. You tell me I didn't do that. That's 45 years of me working hard. I finished it yesterday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's done. And it's going out to over 80,000 emails, okay? Or depends on how many more people want it. If you want it, go to PDG, Perfect Day Guide, free.com, and you can have this guide. Go in and take a look at it, and then call me at 469-861-8884, okay? And tell me what you think, all right? And understand, you can call me. Just call me Daryl. Just call me Daryl. Let me tell you something. Let's get rid of all the bullshit. All the bullshit. Let's get rid of it. There is nothing that I want to do more than to serve all my brothers and sisters. And you can think I'm kidding, and I'm not. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to test you. Between my library, which is free and has more master classes, videos in it than any other library that I know of in the world, and you can just sit back and watch them. They're professionally done. And with my Perfect Day Guide, okay, nobody's going to give you more for free. And the reality is this. When you abundantly love yourself, watch what the universe does for you. Watch what the universe does for you. When you say, oh, I really want this, but then believe you don't deserve it, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. And when you understand, when you think that things happen badly to you or good, just it's a random thing, oh my God, you have so been ruled and screwed. I'm serious. And you know what? I can't get upset, and I will do what I can, but the suffering's not going to stop, because I already told you, if you put a price tag on yourself, that price tag better be more than you would put on anybody else on this planet. Now you're going, oh, he teaches selfishness. No, because if you don't become priceless, then you're not going to teach your children, your family, your friends, or anyone else that they're priceless. And if you were priceless, you wouldn't pull your pants off to get love. If you were priceless, you wouldn't say, okay, I'll have another drink, I'll have another Coke. If you were priceless, you wouldn't have a headache. If you were priceless, you wouldn't have autoimmune diseases. And you can believe it or not, both of my parents passed on before they were 55 of cancer. Okay, it's just me and my brother left in my immediate family. Everyone else has passed on from cancer or diabetes or heart disease, and I'll never have any of it. Now, mind you, when I was younger, I thought I was either going to get tongue cancer, lung cancer, or leukemia, because that's what my father had, or I was going to have heart disease. My father had 3 heart operations. And the reality is it's all just BS, because everything is epigenetic. Nothing is genetic. Nothing is genetic. Nothing is genetic. Go do your homework. Nothing is genetic. So don't use that excuse. Okay, or I went to the doctor and they said that, you know, I have this microbe that, or this illness that only 1 out of 100 million people have. Now you're special. Why don't you find your special gift, passion, and purpose, why you came here, instead of looking for a special disease? Okay? Why don't you stop looking for a special person, because that would be you first and foremost? Why don't you practice unconditional love and care for yourself, because you'll never have a great relationship until you can pull it off with yourself. And don't tell me, you know, oh yes, I do have a great relationship, Daryl. Let me tell you something. I've done hundreds of thousands of consultations. You need to get that. And in that whole time, I probably met a half a dozen, maybe to a dozen couples that actually love themselves and each other. The rest of them were just feeding off each other like some parasitical program. And guess what? But I get it, because we can't live without love. But it should be a self-serve job, so you let everybody off the hook in the family, so that if they don't recognize that if you're over there in the corner suffering, you're not going to beat them over the head. Think about these things, because you're just going to have a better, way better Christmas if you just practice 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, that's the old me. No, I don't need another drink. That was a kiss. Me kissing myself, snapping myself back to the present moment. This is as snug as a hug, okay, because I love myself. If you can't protect yourself, respect yourself, honor yourself, then you are hurting everybody around you. Why don't you ask your family what they would want? Why don't you ask your family what they would like you to have? They would tell you health, emotional balance, and to love yourself, even though they can't do it for themselves. You think about that. You think about it. You think really clear about this, because understand, this same group, okay, that's pulling this crap, these psychos, well, they've been running the planet since the planet started. And guess what? That which created you, that's what created the universe, is not coming to save us. Believe it or not, save yourself. Wake up. We are Braveheart Nation. And let me tell you something right now. You need to search for the others. And that's my motto. Search for the others, because we are Braveheart Nation. And the others are people that will not dishonor, disrespect themselves. And then you don't have to worry about anyone. Everybody dishonors me, disrespects me, does this. All you got to do is give off the vibration that you're not doing it to yourself, and then it's not going to be done to you by anybody else. And that's the deal. You need to get this. Okay? You're putting out a vibration all the time. If I had a vibration of unconditional love for myself and the world, okay? If I wasn't out there stirring shit up all the time, I'd have no situations. But I'm never going to stop not stirring, you know what, up. I'm going to keep stirring it up, baby, because guess what? Okay? That's the adventure. We are living the adventure of a lifetime. As soon as you find your brave heart, and as soon as you look for the others, find other brave hearts. You know, if you're not willing to let go, okay, of belief systems and other people, then guess what? Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. And do I struggle? I struggled every day to break from the cocoon, to get my wings so that I can fly higher and higher. Because when the chaos starts here, that's what we do. Like an eagle, we stretch our wings out and we fly high, and then we observe. And then once everybody's done deciding that, you know, we've suffered enough and trying to kill ourselves, we come down here and we go, how can I help? And what did you learn? Are you going to do it again? Learn or burn. Observe, don't judge, and don't put yourself into judgment jail. Just remember something. People are dying more from their belief systems, okay, than what they put in their mouth. But their belief systems decide what goes in their mouth. Have a great day. Next time I'm coming on, it will be, yeah, give me fever. And understand something. I sometimes get a hot forehead, but I never will ever have a fever again. Why? Well, because I don't need to boil the blood to get rid of the infection. because it didn't start off here with the stinking thinking to then get issues in my tissues and then become rotten to the core. I don't smell when I sweat, okay? If I eat something that's off today, my bowel movement will stink tomorrow, okay? You get that? Because every bowel movement is a computer printout from the day before. So guess what? If it's okay with you guys, I am not going into the bathroom after you guys go, okay? Especially during Christmas, because I'll tell you something, it's gonna be kind of smelly. Why? Because we're putrefying down in our belly. Think about it. 4 inches here, have more than 4 inches consciousness. It's got to go 30 feet to get to the back door, okay? Make sure you're drinking lots of warm hot water and tons of it, guys. And if there's salad there on the table, here's hoping. Have a big salad first. Keep the protein down a little smaller, okay? And stay away from any of the fried, greasy foods, okay? Look, you're just gonna feel better, right? Don't overeat, okay? Honey, are you full yet? No. Everybody should be saying during Christmas, hey, it's time to nourish. Okay? Have a beautiful day. Happy holidays, everyone.